going on. When the lights go down, I've seen hell in you, but you don't care, no, you don't care, no. You just rather watch me fall from a quarter mile. I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion. Oh, going on. Fall into oblivion. Fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, I'm going on. You can't fall asleep when you're counting stars. Get it together. Your mind can't sleep when you let it starve. Now you wanna see me fall from a quarter mile. I can see you at the call.
everybody, and welcome to the Taylor Industries pregame show. I'm your host, Cordell Ballard. Here with me is Cody Polly, and we are here to bring you the action today for the last Overwatch stream, but we're the second ones on the UCM Esports 2 channel. Trey and Josh didn't leave this too messy from the League of Legends stream on Wednesday, so I do appreciate that. But anyways, so today is the last day for the GBCC Cup that we're going against the GSC Pioneers today, Cody. So how do you think UCM could stack against GSC today?
Quite well. We've been doing very well. Like, I think we'd finish in top 3. I'm pretty sure Lucas was saying. So, overall, I think in this tournament, besides KU and Penn, I think just about everybody else we're able to handle quite well. I don't think we'll have too many problems with anyone besides those two. Okay. I think the way we perform way above what the usual standard is for our rankings, because like we scrimmed and we recorded it and we sent it to a professional coach for review, and we did like the whole guess my SR little thing, and he was like, "Oh, you guys are like diamond, easy." And, like most of us are like plat. Some of us are diamond.
Yeah.
A good few of us are diamond and above, but we were asking specifically about a player who was like plat. And it was really funny because it just means that we're able to communicate and perform at a level so far above what we place, and it's great when you think about it because we're good. We're good as a team.
Oh yeah, no,
great
you
team.
guys are great as a team. And speaking of which, your Culver's lineup for tonight will be Deity and Jonah on the tank lineup. Trey, Clev, and Rickless Morty, since we are going to Nepal, so 50-50 there. That Trey will be in there for sure. And then we do have DD Gaming and the Red Polka coming up here on the support lineup. So I think this is your classic lineup here. I don't think anything's really changed for UCM in the past few weeks, Cody.
Nothing in particular. Don't be too shaken up if you do see like a bit of a weird switch with Thomas going to main tank instead of Jonah.
Oh.
They've been switching off every now and then. For the most part, though, Jonah still plays the main tank, plays the Reinhardt typically.
Okay.
But every now and then in the scrim, they did switch just to see if it worked better. And there were sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. So just, that might happen. It's not set in stone that it is, but it's possible for sure.
That'd be rather interesting to see if UCM does pull that kind of off. Switching it up, I guess, for the last match to get us all confused on what's going to happen tonight. But anyways, before we send it off to our break here, we do want to remind everybody that the fall 2021 application is out. So if you want to be a part of UCM Esports in the fall, if you're an incoming freshman, or if you're switching colleges, or if you're coming out of community college and wanting to go to a 4-year to finish out your last 2 to get your degree or whatever, do consider us. UCM has a lot of options in degrees and whatnot, and if you want to play on an esports team, we're definitely there for you. You got Overwatch, you got Rocket League, League of Legends, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Rainbow Six Siege, and NBA 2K21. And even if you don't like any of those titles, you can definitely throw one out there that the board can look at and see if we want to have it in there. I know we have a few Valorant people wanting to be in there and create a Valorant team once more, so that could be interesting. Any other ones that you can come up with. The application, though, for being on the starting lineup for the main 6 that you see there is April 30th. On the year 2021 at midnight. So you got about that much time to do it. And yeah, that's kind of just how it rolls here. So with that being said, we're going to wait for everybody here to kind of create the lobby and get everything rolling. And we'll be right back with the final match. That just feels so weird.
Weird, because there's no like tournament going on. It's just kind of like, boom, all right, we're done.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, it's over now. So, but anyways, we'll be right back from a word from our sponsors.
Thank you for joining us today. Before today's match, we'll be going over the rules of Overwatch. Overwatch is a 6v6 team-based game, where each map has specific objectives to complete. At the beginning of the match, and at any time during the game, the players can move into a spawn room that allows them to choose what character they want to play. They can also do this while waiting to respawn. There are 3 types of heroes that can be played. Tanks specialize in protecting allies, disrupting enemies, and occupying the front line. They have high survivability and abilities that protect themselves and others with shields and crowd control. Damage heroes are responsible for seeking out, engaging, and defeating the enemy using their varied tools, abilities, and playstyles. Lastly, support are heroes that heal, buff, and provide utility. Support heroes boost the overall performance of their team by increasing their survivability, speed, and damage output. They're generally the worst duelists and are best when surrounded by teammates. Throughout the match, players have a select set of abilities that can be used. All heroes have at least 2, although some have more. Each character also has an ultimate ability that must be charged by dealing damage or healing. Each match takes place on one of 4 types of maps: Assault, Payload, Control, or Hybrid. Payload maps have an objective that players must push to the end of a set track, with the other team defending. Whichever team can push their payload further wins. Assault maps have 2 objectives that one team must try to capture while the other team defends. Hybrid maps are a combination of the last 2 mentions, with one team capturing a point and then pushing it along a track. In control maps, players must fight over one point located in the middle of the map and hold it to fill their percentage. Finally, whichever team has won the most rounds by the end of the match will win the game.
Imagine opportunity. Got it? Good. Now pursue it. Choose the right college to cultivate it. Discover your passion, your talent. Now share it. Embrace it. Go global. Find support, network, build your team. Set a goal, work hard, achieve it. Be proud of yourself. Celebrate it. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
Are you ready for the interview today?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get right to it. What's the first thing you would buy with $1 million?
Well, I would probably try to keep some of the money for later, but I would probably buy a house.
What would be your superpower?
I would have the power to be invisible.
What would the title of your book be?
The Story of Marcus.
What would your last meal consist of?
I'd probably just have pizza as my last meal.
If you could cyber enhance one body part, what would it be?
My arm.
First game ever played?
Trying to remember now. It was a long time ago, but I think one of the first games I played was Mario.
What's your favorite car jam to listen to?
It depends, but I really like Weird Al, so I would have to say Elmish Paradise by Weird Al Yankovic.
You're a new addition to the Crayon Box. What color would you be?
I would say probably Crazy Plum.
You don't want a piece of paper. You want an opportunity. The opportunity to lead, to innovate, to transform. The opportunity to excel beyond what you thought possible. At the University of Central Missouri, your goals are achievable because we give you more support so your ambition faces fewer obstacles. Embrace your potential with the backing of 150 years of academic excellence, with undergraduate and graduate degrees available in Warrensburg, Lee Summit, and online. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are here at the matchup today, and so UCM and GSC Pioneers will be competing on Nepal here, Cody. You know, UCM does pretty okay when it comes to the control maps, so I think UCM has a good shot here to take a good lead in the series.
Definitely. I think control is one of our best because you obviously can't draw it, and you know how we in draws go. So
if there's no King's Row, we'll be fine, Cody. We'll be fine.
Having a definite winner is something that's very, very good. And I think Trey's on Sim just temporarily. I think he's going to switch to Reaper and then get out fast. He's just doing the TP. Yep.
Doing the quick TP here. UCM will be beginning to get their forward progression going as they go to meet GSC here. Looks like we're doing a dual brawl here, but we do see 2 hit scans operations here of an Ashe and a Soldier 76 coming out on the side of GSC here. So Jonah getting really aggressive into the little corridor there, trying to shove GSC back, but GSC will probably be going into the backside here. Red Polka's trying to keep everybody up and alive in what all he can do. Jonah continuing to just kind of swing on there. Never mind, GSC's really dedicated to this little angle here. We do see Trey going off onto the side angle here, but we do see GSC going to continue. Pace is taken up by Reckless Morty there. UCM's going to try to do the best there. Oh, Reckless Morty getting on point here with the McCree here, and that's just going to be GSC being held here pretty much for the most part while Reckless Morty takes a nap here, Cody.
That was a right-click Rickles. That was... we make fun of him for those every now and then, but, I mean, hey, they work.
Very much so. We see Giant Dwarf trying to stay on the point there, but that's not going to work out so well. We do see a nice Dynamite coming out on the side of Pace there, but again, UCM will just back off, continue to heal up a little bit, and just kind of cap off on there. We do see UCM split 3-3 on either side, and so we'll see how well GSC can kind of break this progression, as we do see Goose Rat trying to figure out where he wants to go. The Jester, though, is taking so much damage. Jonah coming out with a big hammer. Takes out a lot of them, and the Deity cleans it up there. And UCM, another with a clean team fight win there, Cody.
I think this is coming down to the difference in damage right now, because while I do have more damage at range with the Soldier Ash, I think the close range burst of a Reaper is really turning the tide here. Being able to shred through shield, being able to shred through basically their entire team with just being in their face changes things quite a bit.
Very much so, and we do see the Jester switching off onto a Diva, so that's going to be dual off-takes, and Reckless Morty going on a hard flank, gets a high noon off and caps 2 of the Pioneers, and then UCM just continues to collapse in onto the back line and the front line there of the Pioneers, and UCM will win another team fight, even though Reckless Morty falls to Giant Dwarf's Coalescence, and so UCM again with another pretty much dry team fight win. Not a lot of ultimates other than Reckless Morty going with a flank noon.
Yeah, that was weird. You don't typically see a flank noon, but I think he was very confident because of our team being able to hold aggro on the front very well.
Very much so. We do see Deity here with Graviton Surge ready to see if he can pop in to keep everybody in his play. He does, and he gets almost a good chunk of them. We do see a hammer coming out, though, from Jonah as well. Trey going out with a pop-off there. Bob being released into the skies. Beats coming out as well from DD Gaming. UCM continuing to try to do their best. DD Gaming holding the point like the champ that he is. An overtime ticks down, and UCM will win 100-1 or 100-0 on this first section. So the next one, if they win it, they win the first map and puts them 1-0 in the series here. Cody, what all was going wrong there for GSC?
Well, like I said earlier, it was the difference in damage there, but they also switched off quite often, which means that they didn't have any ultimates. The only ultimate they really threw out there was Cole and Bob. Those are the only ones I remember seeing. And in a game like Overwatch, you need an ultimate to make something happen. Like, to break that choke, they would have needed like a big slam or a grab, but they just kept switching and they kept switching, and that meant that they never had time to build them. So they never had time to break. They never had a chance to break that choke.
Very much so. And we do see Jonah and Deity swapping off into like a little bit of a different dive-ish comp here. Instead of having the Winston, you have the ball in there instead. We do know Jonah is very good with his ball lifestyle. But we do see GSC sticking with a dual off-tank lineup here with the Jester sticking on the Diva and Goose staying on the Zarya. Is that going to hinder them in this upcoming fight?
I think so, because with the double dive tanks that we have, it's definitely going to make things a bit harder.
Ooh, we do see the Beard going down there, and Jonah just continues to just do havoc in the back line for GSC here, and UCM continue to just kind of do some work here. Jonah getting super low on some health there, tries to get into the background, does have a little bit of shield up, does take out the Giant Dwarf with the help of Deity there. Reckless Morty continuing to pop off and take care of business of the rest of GSC here, and UCM will just then trickle out the rest of GSC here, and that will be a cap point for UCM. We do see Big Chungus going off onto the Junkrat there, and so, I mean, I don't know if he's living up to his name or not, but, you know, I like a Junkrat.
I don't. I hate Junkrat. I think the Junkrat here is to spam down and, like, keep sightlines away from us. If there's Junkrat spamming you, you can't peek that sightline, especially without a shield. So I think that's mostly just to control space, kind of. And in the absence of having a main tank, a Junkrat's not a terrible way to control space.
Very much so. So we do see UCM trying to hold GSC up here in this area, but Trey's getting dived on by the Jester. We'll see how well that's going to work out, though. Jester is getting melted down, basically out of Mac now, and so UCM does a bit of an advantage to continue to contest the point here. So, Giant Dwarf taken out by DD Gaming with a little bit of a stun action there from Reckless Morty. We do see Reckless Morty getting aggressive with a roll into the Junkrat spam. DD Gaming does take out the Junkrat of GSC along with Deity's assistance on Goo, and so UCM again with a solid hold here. I mean, I just don't know if the lineup that we got from GSC here is going to do a lot. I haven't seen the Brigida being able to stun or prevent a lot of things either.
No, I think that's just because Jonah knows how to play against a Brig. He's played a lot of ball. He knows how to play against, dive into a Brig team.
Very much so. Deity pumping out a bomb there, see if he can get it. He does. He gets paste and bread there, or Bearded Ninja, and UCM just goes back in there and wipes him out in the team fight here. And so UCM will again win another team fight. We do see a Coalescence coming out from the Giant Dwarf, though, and so we do see Goose trying to come out and see if he can melt down anybody. We do see Sun coming out, Deity taking him out, Jonah with a Mines in the background, it looks like, on the other side there of GSC's spawn area, and so UCM again trying to hold on as best they can. Jonah taking lots of damage, but does get a little bit of a health boost here as he continues doing a little bit of a surveillance role Hopefully he doesn't get stuck like I always do. Nope, he's a pro, so he's safe. UCM going to be holding on to the point here. We do see Reckless Morty popping out there with a high noon. Cancels it to try and get out of the way, but it doesn't matter. UCM will be able to win the point here, and that will be a map win for UCM, going 1-0 in the series here, Cody.
Yep, going up. I think that came down to them playing double off tanks. Especially Zarya Diva is not a great combination typically. You don't see it often because it doesn't usually work that well.
Yeah.
And I think that really hindered them very greatly. And I think this play from Sean definitely helped us. It was unexpected. He typically just sits in the back of our team to do it.
He does. So
which
that
works better most of the time. But against a team that's being aggroed against, they have split attention, and now they can't focus on one particular thing. It's easier to get a flank off. Usually it's the Reaper doing it because he has a better chance to get out with Wraith. But, you know, with Kree with high noon, it can work. You know what? It can work. He didn't make it out, but
he didn't survive the ordeal whatsoever, but it looked cool, and he got POTG in that map. So anyway, so we're going to wait for UCM and GSC to pick the next map here, and while we're waiting, you'll hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Culver's is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports. Welcome to Delicious.
College, you don't want a piece of paper. You want an opportunity. The opportunity to lead, to innovate, to transform. The opportunity to excel beyond what you thought possible. At the University of Central Missouri, your goals are achievable because we give you more support so your ambition faces fewer obstacles. Embrace your potential with the backing of 150 years of academic excellence, with undergraduate and graduate degrees available in Warrensburg, Lee Summit, and online. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
Are you ready to start the interview today?
Might as well go.
What's your favorite car jam to listen to?
Car jam?
Yeah.
I don't know, anything EDM.
What was the first game you ever played?
That would be some Atari game. I'll go with Pitfall.
Who would narrate your life?
I'd have Cuss to do it from the Overwatch League.
If magic was real, what spell would you try out first?
Turn into a dragon.
Would you rather have a third eye or a third arm?
Third arm would be way more useful.
What's the first thing you would buy with $1 million?
An epic gaming setup.
Where's your dream destination?
New Zealand.
Where do you drop the line between soup and cereal?
No comment.
Fair enough. Describe your perfect day.
Playing video games, learning more about it.
If you were a salad, what kind of dressing would you be?
Caesar.
Hello, everybody, and we are back, and we are on King's Row, or like how we call it here at UCM, Draws Row. And so this is just where it's more often than not we're going to draw on this map. So we've only had, 2 wins, 1 loss, and an umpteenth amount of draws on this map here, Cody. So
too many draws.
So do you think UCM will be able to win it, or do you think GSC will be able to pull out a win out of this one?
Oh, we better
or
win
get
this.
a draw?
We better win this. We've been playing Kings Row in our scrims a lot, and I think we've improved greatly on the whole, not drawing thing.
I would hope so.
I think this is definitely a win for UCM, especially because we really like this map. So I'd like to think that we'd be able to win on a map that we all enjoy and really like. So.
Very much so. So it does look like UCM's going to be playing their own little version of Double Bubble with, instead of Joan being on the Winston, he will be on the ball here. But we do see Double Bubble coming out on the side of GSC here. So UCM will have a little bit of fun to try and see if they can deal with that. Jonah going into the back line here. Looks like he's going to be going on a little bit of a hunt here, looking for somebody to take out. Goes after the GSC Ana. Does get naded himself, but is going to continue trying to hunt that down, but does get chunked down with a bunch of damage there. So UCM continuing to just slowly progress forward to see what all they can do. Reckless Morty trying to get some headshots out, but not really much coming out of that. We do see Giant Dwarf here trying to hold off here. Giant Dwarf, though, wasn't he the healer from last round?
I'm pretty sure that.
So, yeah, because the Jester was the Diva last round. So the Jester and Giant Dwarf have switched roles here. So we'll see how well that works out for him in this long run here. I mean, so far, I haven't seen much difference in the fact that UCM has been able to progress fairly quickly down the point here. We do see Pace just taking a little bit of a longer flank here off onto the side, trying to probably get out. Nope, he is taken out, never mind, by Trey. And so UCM will be able to cap the point here and hold on to it. Well, nope, never mind. I take that back. Giant Dwarf is getting back on there, trying to continue to keep the clock ticking to just stall it out. But UCM will eventually get the point, and so that will be it. And UCM will continue pressuring the point down the ways here. So this is just a comp I haven't seen them run before on King's Row, so I'm hoping that this will be different. Deity does take out the Jester here, and can you be as brawly as you can with this comp here?
No, you don't have the sustain. You don't have the close range damage of like a Reinhardt. Like a Reinhardt is what makes a brawl. So without him, it's really, you can't brawl per se, but you have to play a lot less aggro. You have to play softer. You can you have to like go in for just barely a second and then immediately come back out. Unless you get a pick or get 2 picks, then you can continue aggro. But for the most part, it's just in, out, in, out, in, out until you get something.
Okay, so we do see UCM continuing to push forward here. Jonah going into the back line here, just continuing to just make havoc here. Does lay out some mines in a little bit of an entryway. We do see Graviton Surge coming out from the side of Deity to trap most of the tank. Mainly just the Giant Dwarf there. Does look like he almost had Monkey, but isn't able to get super angry just yet. So you see him continuing to just progressively push forward on this pace, hiding up in the high ground. But as he caught out by Jonah, taking lots of damage from those shotguns of Reaper. You see him just continuing just pressuring GSC here. And what GSC needs to find their win condition to turn this fight around, Cody.
They do. They need something hard CC. They need a Sombra, basically, to counter Jonah, because he's been able to tear up their backline right now.
Oh, very much so. Trey activating high noon, but nothing's really going to happen there. We do have Visor up as well for the side of UCM, so UCM knows where basically everybody is. Trey almost with a singular headshot onto the enemy Tracer, and so UCM is going to just continue the Reckless Morty stealing kills. I don't know if he's actually hitting headshots or being a body shot bandit, but you know, it's okay to be body shot bandit if you're getting kills. Jonah just, as you saw, just shooting the Jester in the back of the head there. GSC having to just do a solid regroup here. But Paste, hiding in the rafters, does get Reckless Morty. So that is a bit of an advantage that a GSC can press here. We do have Angry Monkey coming out of the side with a Giant Dwarf. Death Blossom coming out from Paste as he tries to get rid of stuff. He does. Able to take care of the Red Polka, so that's a lot of sustain healing for UCM. So it looks like they might be able to turn this fight around, Cody.
They might. Oh, never mind. Got a high noon and some mines. Really turning things around.
Yeah, well, I lied. So Trey popped off and did some work here. So then he falls and dies. Jonah doing what he does. Rolls in and kills the Brigida. So UCM continues even after several good, clean kills from GSC here. Still able to stand strong on the point here and continue to try and kind of keep everybody up and alive. Jonah just going to hold off on some stuff. Oh, Jester, dodges that, but Deity comes in there and pops it off. And so we do see Graviton Surge coming out from the side of Goo. UCM, Deity popping out his own here and just pumping it in there. And so UCM continuing to just kind of push forward with everything. But we do see GSC fighting really hard on the point here. Jonah just getting CC locked a little bit, but he bumps out Goose into the pit of despair. Reckless Morty hitting a headshot onto Pace there. Red Polka popping off his amplification matrix, seeing if he can continue to help out with stuff. And since nobody from GSC was touching the point, that will be all 3 capped within 3 minutes and 48 seconds for UCM. And so, Cody, looking a little promising for GSC there.
It did. That was Sean and Jonathan both got caught out. They were, not necessarily in bad positions, but they were not in the right headspace to be checking their backs, to be checking flanks. And so that Reaper was able to just get a flank on him, do a Trey move, get behind, get 2 right quick, just bang, bang. He uses Blossom for 1, but it forced out Lamp, which is a big cooldown to get.
Definitely, and so GSC had the advantage there, could have pulled something off, but I don't know if it was just boiled down to maybe just not having enough people near the point, or UCM just staying strong there and still having DD Gaming's beat there to contend with stuff and whatnot. So I see UCM popping out with a Jonah Hog. Explain.
My guess is to catch flankers. Easy kills.
Okay, we have never seen Jonah on Hog, though.
He's not bad at it by any stretch.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. Like, is his Hog as good as the other heroes? We've seen him on now Deity's on Ball. So, and Trey's on his classic Bastion that we saw him do a reverse sweep on with Cornell earlier in the season in the GVU Friendlies Cup. So, UCM seems to be memeing a little bit here, Cody.
Might be a little bit, from what I can tell.
Because this seems like a meme.
It definitely does seem like that. You don't typically... There's not long enough silence for a Bastion, but it looks like they're doing a little trick play with the TP Bastion here. And I think it's going to work, honestly.
Do you think so?
Trey has really good tracking. Like, I honestly think this could work out very well.
Hotel here does look like GSC is going to be ambushed by UCM here. We just see Nate coming out on a goose there, so UCM is going to continue to just kind of stay up in the high ground of the area there. Jester trying to heal up everybody that he can, hopping up into the high ground, trying to see if he can keep everybody. We do see a DMAC from Jonah, so Jonah is doing well on this flank hog, so we do see him trying to continue to be a havoc in the background here. Jonah not really caring about all the damage he's taking from the little baby diva, but now Diva's grown back up and has the mech back and is naded and probably will lose the mech here very shortly. Trey does take out Goo here, and so UCM does have a bit of an advantage, it looks like, in all of their information here. Ooh, good DM there from the side of Giant Dwarf to keep the Jester alive, and so UCM will continue to try and keep pumping stuff in there. We do see Deity rolling into the background here. We're going to see how well his ball operates compared to Jonah's, and so he does get through and kills out the Tracer from GSC, and so UCM, this is... yeah, the meme's working. I hate it when memes work, but, you know, I guess since it's my team, the meme's okay to work.
Yeah. The other thing is, well, yes, I do think this is a little bit of a meme. Also, the things you never see before are always the ones that get you.
This is true here. So Jonah able to do a bit of a fist punch onto the Jester as he's trying to make his way back home. And so we do see Jonah with a nano boost onto him. He's going to whole hog onto the point here. Gets a lot of GSC into the point here. And just with the nano boost, whole hog is able to take care of business. Deity taking care of the bearded. And Jonah does get stuck. But hey, he's a big hog. He can just suck it down and he's all fine. He eats damage for breakfast.
He is an ult battery though, so as you see they're coming up on almost 3 or 4 already, so they might be able to swing a fight with that if they don't get early picked like it looks like is about to happen with this Mercy. Oh, he missed the hook.
But we do see that Bearded Ninja is super low. Jonah does take a little bit of venom damage there and does have to fall back, but that's not going to really do much else for him. We do see that UCM is going to continue to kind of hold off on the trade. Goo in the hotel by himself, doesn't have really any support, and it looks like he will fall to the side of Deity. And so UCM just going to continue to have a lot of issues. We do see Giant Dwarf here going on a bit of a flankish area here. GSC here is just all kinds of spread out right now. And UCM is a bit spread out, but with a purpose. So
yeah, this is with a ball and a hog, you have to spread a little bit. And I don't think a brawl is supposed to be split. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure all the hours I've played brawl for are telling me that you're not supposed to split up.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I don't think you're supposed to split up more in this meta unless it's dive, but even then you have to coordinate where you're going. So UCM continuing to just kind of keep everybody up and around and notifying everybody where they're all going. Nano hog again, and UCM will go into the background here. Jonah taking out 3 people with his whole hog nano boost there. Misses the hook again. And so UCM will have to get out there. And so, the Chester almost makes it back into spawn into safety, but it's not going to be allowed. Reckless Morty places down his shield to continue to contest it. 42 seconds left. Jonah going up front here, taking so much damage to just keep people up in the upper areas. And so we do see a DMAC on 2 people. The Giant Dwarf is DMAC'd, and so UCM is going to continue just kind of staying here and body block, it looks like. I don't understand the reasoning behind the body block here. So UCM, though, is still able to kind of contest the point here. DD Gaming keeping everybody off. We do see Chungus taking out Jonah, though, finally at the top there. So the ult battery is down for the side of UCM. So I don't know what else is going to happen here. We do hear mines being released by the side of Deity, so that's going to be all within the spawn area. We do see Bearded Dragon going out onto a Valk run here. Hammer down coming out on the side of Goose, but not going to be able to follow up on anything like that. And UCM will actually win King's Row. Miracles. Miracles.
I figured you'd be more upset about that match, considering there was a considerate amount of spawn holding going on.
Yes, there was spawn holding, but I was so excited about the hog I forgot, so bad Jonah. Bad Jonah, you sitting here whole hogging in spawn doors. I'm sorry, Cut. I'm just shell-shocked by the fact we just won on King's Row after so many times, and then there's a hog on the field that you never see because he's one of the worst tanks you could possibly have in the game right now. Like, you just don't see it.
You don't see it because, like I said earlier, he's an ult battery, and ults win a game. So they win fights, which wins the game, which wins, you SR.
I mean, Nano the hog, he goes whole hog. You just push people into other areas. It just works out so well. It works
sometimes, yeah.
No, I don't like the spawn holding. I don't. But again, I was just too focused on the fact there was a hog on the field. I missed the fact that he was spawn camping them. So I'll be not happy with him for a little bit. But anyways, we're going to be picking the third match point for UCM as they are leading 2-0 in the series. So we could be done in the next map, or we could be going to another one, depending on how GSC here tries to turn it around. So we'll find out after this break.
Taylor Industries is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports, a family-owned and operated business.
Welcome to the interview today. Are you ready to start?
Yeah, actually.
What's the first thing you would buy with $1 million?
A car. Nice one.
What would your last meal consist of?
Fried okra. Probably main thing.
Where's your dream destination?
Always want to go to Alaska, see the northern lights. That'd be cool.
What was cool as a kid, but not cool now?
Those silly, like the bands, the silly bands that are shapes of animals and stuff. Those aren't too cool anymore.
If magic was real, what spell would you try out first?
Invisibility, I guess.
If you could cyber enhance one body part, what would it be?
Gotta be the gaming hand. Perfect game.
Who would narrate your life?
Me.
What's your favorite car jam to listen to?
I don't really listen to music. I just podcasts are my main thing, I guess.
I'm going on. When the lights go down, I've seen hell in you, but you don't care, no, you don't care, no. You just rather watch me fall from a quarter mile. I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion. I'm going in. Fall into oblivion. Fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion. I'm going on. You can't fall asleep when you're counting stars. Get it together. Your mind can't sleep when you let it serve. Now you wanna see me fall from a quarter mile. I can see You break it up, you'll see who had it all. You had it You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion. Oh, go in.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are here on Dorado with our third match point map for UCM, but it is a opportunity here for GSC to kind of turn it around. And so, what all does GSC here need to do to win the game? And I just looked at the lineup here for their defense. How good do you think this is going to work out, Cody?
Ooh, a double barrier with the recent nerfs to Sig is a lot harder to pull off with a Sig. Typically, you'd see a Rhine in that spot. The Bastion I see. Well, you saw Trey make it work. I don't see why anyone else couldn't. The only problem with that is going to be the Winston and the Genji and possibly a Lucio diving all of you at the same time.
But it's not our Lucio. That's the red polka on Lucio. That is not our DD Gaming, who we know and love as being his Reddit Lucio self. DD Gaming is on Ana Patrol right now, keeping everybody up and alive. So I don't know if it's probably just going to be Rickless Morty who's on the Genji. And, Bite Me's in as well. So Bite Me has been subbed in on the side of Trey. So you see him continuing to just kind of slowly push forward onto GSC here. We do see Reckless Morty low on health. Deity also just super low. And but is getting healed up, but does finally die to pace before Deity takes out two players. DD Gaming is taking a lot of damage there. Big Chungus here taking out the Red Polka, but might be taking out Giant Dwarf. We do see Paste in the back line now trying to keep an eye on stuff, and we do see that Jonah's not really caring if there is somebody there. He's even going to walk past. No, he did. He did punch and shoot Paste there. I was getting really worried there that Jonah was going to completely ignore that.
That fight, I don't know if anyone else knows, that was very backwards. Our Winston was sitting point, and our Orisa dove their back line.
Hey, this is just how we do it here at UCM when we're feeling very synergetic. So UCM can dive apparently with an Orisa and main tank on the point with a Winston. We do see Jonah heading back to the area here to try and switch off onto something here. It's going to be ball, so it's going to be a ball monkey dive composition coming out from UCM here. So we do see By Me hopping onto the high ground here with his Symmetra lifestyle. Does have Sim Wall coming up here shortly, so we'll see where this wall will be placed to see if it's going to be beneficial for UCM to kind of stay alive there. We do see Big Chunk is taking lots of damage there. TP is taken out by Bite Me, seeing if he's going to place it somewhere else. We do see the Jester popping up here, and UCM just continuing to shred with this composition here, Cody.
Yeah, this is they went back. They're now on a truer dive composition. So I think it's going to be a bit harder to fight that Bastion when he's long sightlines. But once you get on top of him, it's over for him. Like, he can't spin around that fast.
Oh, very much so. With Bite Me just melting down the barriers here, and we do see Goo and the Jester again going super aggressive onto UCM there, but it doesn't look like he's going to really turn around into anything. Goo is trying his best to keep everybody alive. Nothing else is really happening there. Big Chunk is just pumping out as much damage as he can, but not getting healed up as quickly as he's taking damage from UCM. UCM continually kind of pushes through, and UCM does cap the second point here. Rickless Morty with Blade, Bite Me with Shield. We do see Bongos coming out from Giant Dwarf there, but it is quickly taken out by Bite Me, and UCM will continue to march forward. Red Bearded Ninja there falls, so UCM will continue to just march on forward. Deity just doing lots of work on a Monkey Tickle Cannon here, Cody.
Well, they don't have a very tanky comp overall. The highest health they have across their team is 400. And only one of those health bars has armor. So they're going to be able to shred through most of their health very quickly. And I think that the Blade is really going to make things a little bit over much.
Very much so. So UCM of Rickless Morty is going to continue just to do lots of damage in the background here. But he does fall eventually to Big Chungus, taking him out with a big ol' shell to the face. But UCM, with record time, does push this to all 3 points with 4 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock there.
That is record. I think that is our record for Dorado.
It has to be, because I've never seen us push any escort that fast this season. So, because we usually lose a team fight or two in the middle of something. So I'm really surprised that UCM, with the weird comp that we were running, were able to pull anything off. So
well, they just kept staggering. You saw the way the only real good fight they had was in second point right there when they had their Bastion set up and they had shield set up. The only problem was they weren't able to build any ults in the fights prior because they had an Orisa in their backline all of a sudden. And I mean, they got to pick onto our Winston, but that didn't really change anything. Over the course of the fight, he already got their Sigma, and then they got him. They traded, and then there was an Orisa in their backline that they had to deal with, and they had already invested too many resources to be able to really do so effectively, and they just got shredded apart because of it.
So true. And oh my god, why is okay? So UCM has to be memeing now because Bite Me's on the Bloody Widow, Rickless is on the Doomfist. Those two usually have their roles swapped in any other scenario. Same thing with our support lineup, and then Jonah's back on the Hog. Cody, why?
I could not tell you.
We do see a pharmacy coming out on the side of GSC.
He's going for a cliff hook, I think.
Is he?
He's standing on the side where you can get an environmental, and he's going to try for it.
He missed. He mistimed the bubble coming out, so he has to wait another 5 seconds before he can get anything. Oh, we do see the Red Polka trying to keep everybody up and alive there, but the Jester's trying to see if he can get any kind of... misses the hook again because of the bubble, so Jonah will probably be melted down and taken out on the side of GSV. And GSC here doing good work on UCM's meme comp here, so that's going to work out well. Bite Me switching off onto the Ashe here, and so we do see the Red Polka trying to keep everybody up and out of there, trying to speed boost everybody out, and UCM will be on the back pedal here in this upcoming matchup. And it does look like some people might start taking this seriously on the side of UCM, but we do still see a Rickless Morty Doomfist here. And so Giant Dwarf here on the hamster lifestyle, just following down UCM and continuing to burn him out. And so I do think GSC here is a little perturbed.
Definitely. I mean, when you have been kind of rolled the way they have, they're going to want to try and get something back. They're not going to want you to just perform and perform and perform. They're going to want to do a little bit of their own show.
Very much so. Deity refusing to hop back into mech here and instead tries to stay in his alternate form of Baby Diva and sees if he can do any kind of work. Big Chunk is trying to take out Baby Diva form. But Rickless Morty stealing the kill from Deity. Deity says, fine, I won't be a Baby Diva anymore. I'll hop back into mech and do some other stuff. So Jonah, Rickless Morty, DD Gaming taking care of 3. But we do hear mines coming out from the side of Giant Dwarf. It does take out a lot of people there, but Red Polka does skate into one there, looks like, and UCM will continue to fall there. We do see Pace taking out Jonah with that, but Rickless Morty continuing to just kind of clean up and be a janitor here. And yeah, UCM will continue to stall this point out, it looks like. So, I mean, I can't say that GSC hasn't been doing a good job on trying to find some targets. They've been able to at least push UCM back several steps here, Cody.
They have been. They've been able to get through that first choke, which is one of the hardest points to get through. And I think that's an incredible job for them. But, I mean, with the way we've been performing all night, even on these kind of semi-off rolls, I mean, you've seen that we're still doing very well.
We're still doing a thing, and so we do see a bomb coming out, and it does take out Jester as he's beating. And so there's no longer a beat save there for GSC. The Jester has to be so mad at himself. He does get rezzed by the bearded ninja there, so he's going to be able to get back on to the grind of getting his ult back up, which, according to our own DD Gaming, is the slowest charging ult in the game. He's tested it.
It is one of the slowest, I will say that for sure. And yes, he has tested it, so I do believe him. But, I mean, I've seen in games, it's very hard for Lucio to consistently get beat over and over again. Like, Orion can get Shatter fairly easy.
Oh, very true.
But Lucio has a much harder time building a beat up.
Oh, that's so true. So UCM is going to continue to just hold this point here while Bite Me sitting on this Ashe is just going to be pumping out damage and keeping people at bay on the side of GSC here. And so UCM will... I don't think there's any real chance here. GSC really has to group up and then really have target calls here. It looks like UCM continuing to hold off on the back line here. We do see Bite Me throwing out another nade to see if he can take care of business. Looks to try and shoot out Pace, but then falls back, so he's back on the low ground here. We do see GSC pushing forward. DD and Jonah, they're taking care of 2 members of GSC here, and then DD with a bomb takes out Giant Dwarf, so the tank lineup is down for GSC, and DD came and taking out the Jester. UCM with 26 seconds left to defend. It looks like a very strong possibility that UCM will win the series here, Cody.
Very, very strong. The only technical win condition I can think would be a graviton and
Bite me! Yeah,
a graviton and a barrage, but it's getting those coordinated to go out at the same time and have
very
enough
much
people
so.
in it for
They
it
have
to
to
matter.
touch this point. Oh, it does look like Pace takes out Bite Me, though, so UCM has a little bit of an option here, but DD Gaming does take care of everything else. Overtime does begin to tick down, and so UCM will win the map here and continue to win the series. And so UCM, I mean, that was a 3-0, so I can't deny any of that. But that was brutal, but I can't... Freakless Morty, I want to see this blade.
It was the blade that they had at the end of their attack, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yep. So, Freakless Morty here just having lots of fun here. I guess UCM was just more comfortable tonight, or was it just the fact that we were just more prepared more often than not?
I think it's come down to comfort there. Like you saw, we started and then we switched over to comfort picks with Jonah going on ball and that kind of stuff. And then quickly we felt that we were very confident going against their team, so we just decided, hey, we can make weird things work here. And then we did.
This is true. So with that being said, we'll be back with the Taylor Industries post-game show for the final time for Overwatch this semester. So stay tuned so that you can see who the final player of the match will be from Culver's. Don't want to miss out on that.
Culver's is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports. Welcome to Delicious.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Taylor Industries post-game show. Cody, it looked good in the beginning. UCM was getting real serious, and then after that, it was meme time.
It was kind of a troll show. I won't lie. It's kind of a troll show there at the end. I think things really started going downhill as soon as we saw Trey on Bastion and Jonah on Hog on Kings Row.
Yeah, that was.
And
And then they were spawn holding the fools, the jerks, the freaking Let them come out. You have to. That's how this works.
It's a strategy.
I don't care.
It works.
Yeah,
They
that was
won.
rude. That
They
was
won.
rude.
The-
I don't. We could have won without being in their spawn.
Well, it's easy.
It's easy.
You
You
just-
call it easy. Is that what we're gonna go
Just
with?
click
here?
at people and hold W, you win.
Okay, fair enough. So, with that being said, our Culver's player of the match is Bite Me's Bob.
Yep, Bite Me's Bob.
His Bob.
At the end there, it was incredible.
It
Like
was.
the Dorado, things were
It
looking
very
a little
much was.
dicey. They had two ultimates that were online that could have easily just torn apart their team.
Yeah.
But he threw the Bob at the end. He kind of had it in a weird spot in their back line
But
that they
the
weren't able
Bob
to take
made
care
it
of.
work.
The Bob made it work.
Bob made it work.
If it
even
wasn't
though,
for Bob, I would have been much less confident in our ability to win that Dorado match.
Very much so. It was all up to Bob. Bob was the one who won that entire thing, and that's the only reason why he is getting this honor is because he was attached to Bite Me.
Yeah.
And so, that's why Bite Me's here. He's attached to Bob because Bob's the real hero here within this entire whole thing. So that will be our player of the game for today will be Marcus Bite Me with all of that kind of fun stuff. But truly, it was a great time. It was a good time to watch our team play and kind of chillax a little bit there. We do appreciate GSC competing in the GBCC tournament. We also appreciate GBCC putting on this cup for us. And so with that being said, I'm fairly happy with our results here. We do finish off in the top 3 in this whole thing. It was a very competitive circuit, I do believe, Cody.
It was very competitive. Well, there was no finals tournament day or something like that. The rankings people were being very competitive in. Like you saw Penn College, you saw KU. They were fighting very hard because this meant something to them.
No, yeah.
There was no real giant prize pool at the end or anything crazy. It's it's kind of bragging rights. It's like we won this.
Yeah, everybody here was very competitive and really wanted to be here and learn and to be in a competitive environment, which was great. And I love that having it here for this semester since we were unable to get that in some of the other leagues that we paid for. And so that's what I appreciated part of that. And so with that being said, it is the end for the Overwatch season here for this semester, but there is next semester. So if you're interested in coming to UCM and you want to be on our esports team, the fall 2021 application is out for Overwatch, Rocket League, League of Legends, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Rainbow Six Siege, NBA 2K21. And so, yeah, that's going to be all 6 of those titles. But if you want another one, there is an option in there to write it out and kind of give the org a little bit of information of what you think would be required for the game. We do have a couple people wanting to do Valorant, so revive that title if we wanted to. And then if you want to be considered for the starting lineup for any of our 6 titles, you have to have it submitted by April 30th of 2021. By midnight. So do keep that in mind. So that's for the fall 2020 application. If you're an incoming freshman, or if you're currently here watching it and really want to be a part of the program, do fill that out. And so, yeah, that'll be about it for us here at UCM for all of that fun stuff. Cody, it's been a wild ride this semester with all of our matches.
Lots been happening.
Oh, so much has been happening. So with that being said, that will be the end of this broadcast and the end of the Overwatch stuff for us this semester so far. So we will see you all in the next semester.